Hi everybody. This little program is going to be all about functions, essentially. We're just going to simply just make some more functions, some more complicated functions. So I'll just call it more complex functions. And you are welcome to name it whatever you want. Put in the day's date, which is what I tend to do. But let's see. Now, zoom in a little bit. All right, so I'm going to make a couple of little things here. We'll just make a very simple function that just displays a menu. That's all. So, function. I'll call it def menu. Let's say display menu. There we go. And all this is going to do is just simply print choose an option. Right? Now, print, we'll go with this 1. Eggs. Right? Print 2. Bacon. We'll go full breakfast here. Print 3 pancakes. There we go. So essentially all this is going to do when this runs, down a little bit, display menu, is it's just going to display the menu, right? So we run, you see there's my menu. Nothing else exciting happens. Okay? Now I could put some more code and some more stuff here, but that's not what I want. So I'm going to make another method here, function. Ask input is what I'll call it. Alright, so here's what's going to happen here. I'm just going to say, I've already got my list up here that says choose an option, and I got this list here, right? So here I'm going to actually take that input and have some checks, some other stuff with it. So let's say I'll call it choice equals input, make a choice. I don't have to put anything there, but I'll go ahead and do it anyway. So whatever I type is going to be thrown in the choice. And I can go ahead and do some if statements here if I want. So if choice equals 1, let's say. Everything we take in from an input is a text. So if it's 1, in this case, I could make it an int and then say if it's 1 numerically. This is a little less crashy, so let's see here. Of course, if I type in 1 period, like you see there, it's not going to work unless I say or choice equals 1 period. I could do that. And then I'm just going to print you chose eggs, like so. Elif, right? Choice equals 2, in this case. Let's do it with that. Or choice equals 2, if I'm really that concerned that they're going to pick it one of those choices. Print you chose bacon, the correct choice. Elif. Oh, I'm not going to turn down pancakes or eggs either. So we go choice equals 3, and again quotes, or choice equals 3 with a period if I want to again go that far into it. Print you chose pancakes. So I got a little menu here. And else. Anything else that's chosen that's not the above is going to go here. So just print no breakfast for you. Come back 3 years. There we go. Now, if I were to run my code, all you're going to see is an error because I forgot a thing there. Let's fix that. Okay. If I run my code now, you'll see that's it. It just displays the menu because that's all I told it to do. Now, inside the menu, I'm going to come up here and say ask input. And now, with this one line here, I'll run this menu, and then it will run this one. So I'm actually running a function from inside of a function. And what we get here is 1. And if I run this again, 2 period. Bacon. So this lets me make a little menu. I can separate it out, and I can have all my choices in another thing altogether if I need. This lets me split things up a little bit. Instead of putting it all in one, which I could do, I could put all that up there. And I could put everything without functions down here as well. But the problem is, the more you put it all in one basket, the more likely it is when you have a mistake or mess up, it's going to be harder to find. So when you can separate things out, you should. So if I take, this and separate it here, if there was some other stuff, like I was doing some sort of formulas and stuff and I need to do some more stuff, maybe I'd have another function in here that would get called. It's very common to have a function call 2 or 3 others. Depends. Maybe I want to give them a choice of eggs, and there's another menu that pops up. Well, maybe I'd make a function for that as well. Depends on, what you're asked for, what you're asked to do. Personal preference as well goes into it. Sometimes it can get a little convoluted if you separate everything out. But stuff should be separated to a certain extent so you can actually kind of go through it easier. Find those mistakes a little bit easier. Read it a little easier as well. And if you need to upgrade something, the more you separate it out, it is true that you will have to actually go to more places to do it. But there's always a trade-off. And that is just a quick little rundown of how we could have methods call methods. If I wanted to make another one, I could have this method, like a method here, run when I chose pancakes, and I could have it print something else. Maybe I could have it come back up here and do my display menu again if I wanted to. We might get into a little bit of a loop there if we just keep choosing pancakes, but yeah, that's roughly how that works. So feel free to play around, add some more functions, have something get called in here if you want. The more you practice, the easier it gets.